Hello, 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 and welcome to the KERMACO stream. And we will begin shortly. Sorry, I have not been on in the last couple of months here. And I mean, not couple of months, I should say a couple of sessions. But I had a few things I needed to deal with, but luckily everything is back on track and I will continue doing it. I actually have a little bit of good news for everybody, and that is that I will be sharing one of the videos that I had that was something you had to subscribe to a service for, and that is my entire process. So I'll be sharing 2 videos at a time. So the 2 of them will be available tomorrow. I think if I get some time Saturday morning, I'll put them up, and as well as this will be on YouTube. So definitely go to my YouTube channel. If you are watching this on my YouTube channel, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment. If you have questions and you are seeing and watching this live, you can ask me in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them for you. And yeah, so we can go ahead and get going here. We're still going to be working on this dragon today, finishing up the teeth, and then working on the rest of the body. I will not be talking too much unless you guys have questions. I'll just be kind of sculpting away, and yeah, so a couple of things I'm testing out in the stream for futures. First of all, I'm testing out the full resolution of my display. So I am broadcasting in 1080p, but what's being broadcast is my 4K monitor. So I'd be interested to see how that is looking for you guys. So if you could let me know in the comments, that would be great. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get going here. Just 1 minute. Find a good playlist here. All right, we'll do this one. It's weird. It seems like the mic is picking it up, but it's not. Okay. I'm going to take this off. It's a little too hot for it. And I don't know why the audio keeps turning off. I think I forgot how to here we go. Okay. Getting some gnarly teeth here. Again, just the whole point of the teeth is not to chew here, but to grab. These are relatively low resolution. I'm trying to keep it that way so that I can just basically get to general shape, and then I can easily add resolution later if needed. Right now I'm keeping everything symmetric, but I will break symmetry soon. As soon as I get the distribution right, I will break symmetry on these teeth, and that'll kind of make it look a lot more realistic and feasible. Trying to get kind of layered teeth here, kind of like a shark. I also want to do this here where I turn symmetry off, and I want to have one in the middle. Well, actually, why don't I just duplicate this and then do that. If you're watching this live, say hi in the chat. These are always more fun when there's a dialogue going on, but I understand that some people just like to lurk, and that's fine too. don't think I want to completely do these details yet. Okay, all right, this already has subdivisions. But I'm just putting in a little bit of the kind of the details on the gums, but again, I don't really want to get into those details just yet. These are just a little bit kind of to break that, you know, kind of bubbly look that it has. But I will definitely be adding more detail to the lips and or the gums, I guess these would be. All right. Let's see, the next thing is just to make sure that kind of the base teeth are there, right? And then once I feel comfortable with that, see, now I've broken symmetry. I can start changing excuse me. I'm going to start changing the symmetry on these teeth, and it's going to start looking a lot more realistic. One thing I can do here is if I noticed there was some stretching here, and there's plenty of polygons. If I look at the specific tooth here, let me solo it out. You can see I've got plenty of topology up top, but it's not on the bottom, so I can either just kind of use Shift to bring it down a bit more. The other thing I could also always do is just zero mesh it again, and that'll do it. Now, if I want to get rid of these sharp parts, I can do a trick here where I just go in and turn on with smooth, turn on Sculptress Pro mode, and just kind of bring these down like that, and then just zero mesh it again, and here we go. So I don't have those kind of thin parts, but then now I need to go back in and I've laid up that top part. Now notice that Sculptress Pro is still on, but that's fine. Let me just get the shape I want first. I think I'm getting close. Turn off symmetry, turn off Sculptress Pro, zero mesh it again, and zero mesh it for less. You want to keep these pretty low poly count wise initially, just because you want to you want to be able to shape them without having to manipulate a lot of polygons. Okay, so here we go, and again symmetry is off, so I can kind of do things like break the way these are looking. So you can see here that they already are looking a little bit more different. Let's move on to these teeth over here. Again, turn off symmetry, start moving them around. And again, if you look at teeth of like sharks and other creatures, you will notice that I think this one over here lost its, when I zero meshed it, I didn't have keep poly paint on, so it lost its paint, but that's not a big deal. I can just fill it with a color, then go back to gray. Okay, see if this one looks good. Okay, it's fine. I can always lighten it up a bit. All right. Which teeth am I on? Oh, these guys, okay. Let's go these ones. Again, symmetry is off, so I'm getting a little bit of the changing shape. A nifty trick here is notice that some of these teeth on the top are kind of getting pillowy, and I want them to be sharp. So if you hold Alt down with inflate, it'll sharpen them up. A little bit of a pro tip there. Sometimes they cross over, you just have to, yeah. See what that looks like. Went a little bit overboard with some of these. One of the things that makes this dragon look a little bit more menacing is to just go in and just increase the number of teeth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this exact tool and just duplicate it. Move the duplicate over. Now, there might be some intersections happening, but I think it's not that visible. Now, something that I didn't want to have happen here is the back teeth are not supposed to be sharper than the front ones, and for some reason that is happening here. So I can do one of two things. I can either make these less sharp, and I think that might look better. Again, at any point in time, you can always zero mesh these as well. So there we go. And then let's pick the other ones. Whichever ones these ones are. And if you guys want to see how I made these teeth, you can watch the video from last time, which is I think about a month ago almost. Yeah, I think I missed about 2 streams, which, yeah. that's a lot. All right, so let's go to the top teeth here, solo those out. Nope, not them. These guys, and then again use the inflate with Alt to get these tips to be a bit sharper. I still have symmetry on for these guys, and I will for a while. And then I'm just going to duplicate this one, and then again just move them in a bit and over, and that just will put even more teeth in there. I'm going to take this middle tooth here, duplicate it, and then just rotate it around and put it on top. So there's a middle tooth on top as well. What happened there? I'm listening to a song and it's got a sample from Scarface. It's kind of funny. Where Tony Montana is showing his love for Caspar Gomez and some of the other people. So here I'm just going to use Control to copy these teeth like that. Move them over. Still, these guys are symmetric. I don't think these guys are. All right. One imbalance here is that the top teeth are a lot sharper than the bottom ones. So there's two ways to fix this, and I think I'm going to use I'm going to look at and see which one looks better, and I think these thicker ones look a little bit better. So let's go to those bottom teeth here. Yeah, I think these ones look a little bit better. So I'm going to go, well, I think it's because maybe, here, let me see if that's the case. Maybe these top ones are too in. No, they're. Another thing I can always also do is inflate them. Let's see if that will work. Okay, that actually did work. The other method I was going to use is just duplicate the bottom ones and put them on top, but I think this is working as well. All right, so I just want to match that density of teeth here. So I'm just going to use Control. Let me turn symmetry on. And duplicate these front ones and just move them over, rotate them a bit. Did I delete the duplicates? Yeah, that's fine. There we go. All right, there's that. Break symmetry, move them around. Same thing with this one. Activate symmetry, Control drag, and that basically just creates a copy. All right, here we go. Okay, I think that's pretty good for the teeth for now. And next thing I'm going to do here is work on these gums a little bit. Just going to use Damien Standard, and this is just normal sculpting here. One of the things that's new in my stream is if you look up here in the corner, it will give you all of my URLs for my Gumroad and my portfolio and all that stuff, so you guys can go and check those out. They're also in the show notes on YouTube. I don't know if they show up on Twitch, but I know they show up on YouTube. And this video, I'll download it and put it on YouTube tomorrow. So you'll be able to see it there. But it was suggested that I put it on here as well, so while the stream is going on. Okay, all right, so let's see the rest of the dragon. I think that's enough time on the mouth here. Half an hour, we got quite a bit done. Still not at the detail level I want it to be. Because if I do a close-up on the mouth, I want this kind of to show up. But, you know, if I look at it from a distance, I don't think it's that big of a deal. All right, so let's see the rest of the dragon here. Let's start bringing up the pieces one by one. I don't think I need that one just yet. No, let's just bring that part up. Okay, I think the part before it I don't really need. This one I can hide. And let's work a little bit on the body here. And I'm going to bring up more of it. Oh, I got two bodies. Which one is the right one? Let's see here. Let's turn symmetry off. Okay, I've got two of them. This I think is an older one. So I think the older one can go for now. So I am just going to go ahead and put that in. Hopefully I have it still, a builders folder. And I don't usually get rid of parts because I never know if I'm going to go back to them. And then I usually just create a folder with those parts, and then after I'm done with, you know, when I get to a point where this is getting a little bit more along the lines of what I want, I just let's see here, brush 2, clay tubes. When I get to that point, I just will move that folder to another tool and save it. I mean, I don't really need it, but it's always good to keep them just in case you need to use them in another project or something like that. You spend some time on it, so why not have a copy of it? Okay, so here I'm going to try and figure out the anatomy of these wings here. Of course, again, it's kind of hard to do when there really isn't excuse me, there really aren't dragons. So I'm going to base this a little bit on human anatomy. So here, or bird anatomy, just, you know, existing anatomy. It's always a good idea to base whatever you're working on reality, even if it's fantasy stuff, because it makes it easier for the audience to relate, and usually works better as well. So here I'm just using clay tubes just to kind of lay down the structure. Went the other way here, just lay this out. And again, if I look at the topology here, is this Dynamesh? I think it is. So I'm still in Dynamesh mode. It might be quads. Let's see. No, it's Dynamesh. It's fine. And here I'm just basically getting the general shapes in, and then I'll go in and refine it further later on. Again, good old Damien standard brush, which is one of the most magical brushes here, redynameshing. And again, just this is all really super rough right now, but eventually I will refine it. All right, let's go back to clay tubes here. I don't know what I did here, but if you get a situation like this, I probably it was just a stroke that accidentally happened, and you know, it's kind of hard to get it to work. So usually what I do with this is I just turn on Sculptris Pro mode and just kind of delete this part, and then I can just rebuild that back up. But here we go. I am on ZBrush 2026 here, 0.01, and it was a little bit unstable before, but I don't know what it is. I think it might have been something to do with my some driver or whatever, but it seems to be pretty solid. I should knock on wood. I did do an autosave earlier, so that should be good. I know I'm Captain Brand today. I've got my ZBrush cup, my ZBrush hat, both logos, the older logo, because they changed the new Z-Man logo, so you can see it here actually. If you go to Spotlight, this is the way the new logo looks. It's a little bit different. It's the same logo, but definitely a bit different than before. Oh, don't want to do that. Let's go back to clay tubes and let's start figuring out the muscle structure of this leg. Again, it's not a real creature, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge to get exactly just needs to look believable, I guess. I might do some extra streams, and they will not be at the allotted time, but there will be random ones that I will do just because I want to get some practice and make up for the two that I lost. So you can find those on YouTube, and if you are on Twitch, if you subscribe to my channel, it will tell you when they are happening if you want to watch them live. But yeah, I definitely want to get some practice sessions in. They will most probably be at night, but they could also be in the afternoon. Maybe in the morning. I don't know. It all depends. All right. Just need to work on my speed a little bit. dynameshing here. And after this gets done, I think I'm going to do a save just to make sure not to lose any of this work. It's starting to get cold again and rainy, and it's a lot more comfortable for me when it's cold. I don't know why. I mean, the cold in LA is nothing like the cold in other states. I get that, but I still kind of prefer a little bit of a here, the reference, see if I can get something to work. All right, I have a weird thing that happened here, which I, for some reason, lost my my pen ability, and I don't know why. My mouse works, but for some reason the tablet doesn't. So what I'm going to do here is a couple of things. I'm going to first try and restart the Wacom driver. So let's do that first. And this could be a lot of different things, but you know, usually restarting the driver fixes it. Let's see if that does it. Okay. Check and see if there's a new driver. Maybe their driver is, no, it says no update available, so we should be good. And then now let's just move the display to here. And let's see if this is working. Okay, yeah, see, for some reason now the yeah, so I just need to restart ZBrush, not a problem. If you guys could just be patient for a minute, I'll just go ahead and turn these two things on and restart ZBrush. Luckily I just saved, so I should be okay. Apologies, it's taking a few minutes here. I just decided to do yet another just proper save, and then let me just restart ZBrush, and I think we should be okay. Again, apologies for the right. Let's open up this file. Okay, it's loading, 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 loading. It's kind of a big file because I've got so much stuff in this one file. I need to actually break it out because and I'll show you after it loads. Because I've got this whole dragon teeth, you know, the whole kit and caboodle. And then I also have, all right, so here we go. Here's the dragon. But also in the same file, I have a whole bunch of other tools. I've got this one, which is, let's see, yeah, there's this whole knight, which I'm also working on. And I think there's another character in here. No. Yeah, I'm actually playing around. I'll probably continue on the stream series with this guy, but I've got the swords that I've been working on. I'm working on posing this guy. Here's kind of one using character creator. So anyway, it's just a huge file, and I need to break out, at least I need to break out the knight, and I also need to break out the swords maybe, and yeah. All right, back in action. Let's see here. Let's move the, here we go, and let's make sure this is working. It is. Woohoo! All right. All right. A bit of a hiccup, but not too bad. for the feet here, what I'm going to do is just, highlight this part and then just use Extract Pro Plus. Where are you, Extract Pro Plus? There you are, Extract Pro Plus, and just make a copy of that. And hello. Oh, still doing it. Okay. And just move this down here. And this is just, I could have appended a piece, but I just thought I'd do it this way. It's fast enough. And let me see what this thing looks like. Let's just Dynamesh it. Is it Dynamesh? No, let's do it. Okay. And again, I'm really not caring about this stretching here that's going on. I'm just basically laying down some base geometry, re-dynameshing. Got quite a bit done in just an hour here. I'm feeling good about the progress. When considering half of it was spent on the teeth. And I feel like sometimes just the kind of the, for lack of a better word, the mojo's kind of on board with working, and I think today is one of those days. Worrying about a lot of things, but usually sometimes that works in my favor and sometimes it doesn't. So today seems to be a day it is working in my favor. One of the things I want to do when work gets to be normal again and I have the finances for it is maybe set up a multiple camera system so I could have one actually, you know, just looking at me from an angle like this where you actually can see me doing it, you know, sculpting on my on the Cintiq, so, you know, and I can switch back and forth. I think, you know, one of the things that I'm noticing is that, you know, just with a little bit of more of, you know, concentration, like, you know, if I could get like a sponsor or funding or something like that, I could set up more of a studio setting for this, and I think it'll be a lot more compelling. But right now, this is just kind of something that I do more or less outside of what I do for work. This is just something that I do for the ZBrush community, as well as something that I'm doing to just build up a audience. And then once I have an audience build up, you know, I can look into, you know, doing all sorts of things with this. Changing into some sort of entertainment format, I don't know. But yeah. You know, kind of like a sculpt along or something like, hey, you know, if, let's do something together, and then just get a community of artists kind of watching, and then they're watching me work and they're doing their own stuff, which I've heard a lot of people do, especially on my ZBrush Live channel. I've heard a lot of people usually just have me on as they are doing work themselves on their projects. So stay tuned. Hopefully we can get into some newer ways of all right, so I think at this point I'm happy with the legs pretty much as kind of just a base starting point. And again, this thing is really not something that walks a lot. It's probably, you know, it walks just like birds. It walks short distances, but, you know, usually gets places flying. It's so funny. I mean, you know, I'm not really known for doing organic work, but I like doing it as well, and I do, and I think I am not too shabby with it, but I think that's an opinion that is not mine to have, and hopefully there are other people that share that opinion. All right, here we go. Sorry, I had to get rid of a nasty, yeah, it's just like, you know, I don't know why, but like whatever technology we make, there has to be some a-hole that creates a spam version, or like creates ways of just like, you know, I don't know. I think if I ever was a superhero, I'd like to be somebody who just goes and takes out, you know, spammers. An anti-spam superhero. And I don't know why the governments of the world don't just go after these people and shut them down. I don't know why they're still allowed to do some of the stuff they do. know. Here I just reduced the resolution of the Dynamesh just because it was just getting too, like I don't want to be going into that level of tertiary detail. So here I'm just trying to, again, just get like a basic muscle structure down, and then the rest is easy. don't know why I have this as a separate piece, but I could combine it with what's below, but sometimes it's good to have a separate piece like this just to do overlays. And I mean, I have the legs as a separate piece as well. If I had the entire dragon as one piece, it would be a lot of geometry. So when you have a lot of pieces like this one, it's going to be a challenge to figure out the transitions between the different pieces, between the different subtools. So that's what I'm trying to do here. All right, I think it's time to do an autosave, so let's do that. Quick save, I mean. All right, here I'm putting in some folds because this is kind of where the neck will bend. I'm creating this little spike here, but I'm kind of worrying that like if the rider is sitting over here, like if the dragon like hits something, this thing will go in right into the rider. So I'm trying to figure out how this could be menacing and yet not so menacing. All right. Oops. About 20 more minutes, and I am super happy with how much progress I made today. Happy with the speed. Probably should get a little bit faster than this, but you know, everything happens gradually. And with different stages. But yeah, I noticed, I don't know, I didn't put this on the schedule, so probably not too many people watching me do this live. But if you have questions on anything that I'm doing, please ask on in the comments on in the YouTube channel, because again, this will land in the YouTube channel. And also, one of the most amazing artists out there told me how I can keep these on YouTube, so I'm sorry, on Twitch, so how I can kind of have the videos stay on Twitch. I think it stays for a week, and I don't have the, you know, the paid for and expensive Twitch. I have just the basic free one. So I don't know if it's possible, but if it is, I will keep this on Twitch. I'll start keeping the videos on Twitch as well. But I usually just download them and put them on YouTube, just because I don't know how many people go into Twitch and look at older videos. I think YouTube is a better kind of archiving kind of service. But I think Twitch is really great for streaming, so, you know, best of both worlds. But I think YouTube has streaming as well, and I might explore doing it that way. It's so kind of blurry, the line between what's paid for and what's not anymore. It's just like, you know, it just seems like every software company's turned into a drug dealer, where they give you the first one for free and then they start charging you for things as time goes on, which I think should be illegal. I think there should be some sort of a thing that tells you, okay, if you're going to invest so much time in this thing, then you need to know kind of the consequences of where this is going to go. For example, the company that I used to work for, Microsoft, just ended their terms of service on Windows 10, which I think is the dumbest thing, because that operating system is really popular. There's still a lot of people on Windows 10, and if you want to get like security updates and things like that, you have to pay for it. And if you're a corporation or something like that, you know, you can maybe afford it, maybe not. Maybe corporations are usually on some sort of maintenance program, so maybe they just get that. But for the rest of us that just bought a computer, you know, like all of a sudden, hey, guess what? Your computer is not safe anymore, even though, you know, you paid so much for it and all that stuff. So I definitely, you know, I think from a regulatory perspective, I think, you know, software companies, which are making money hand over fist, need to have some level of responsibility for older versions of software, especially if they cancel something. Like Modo just got canceled a while back, and like all these artists that basically spent a good amount of time learning Modo and getting better at it and supporting Modo and all that stuff, all of a sudden they're like, oh, you know, it's gone now. And it's just worrisome that, you know, it's like if you have a book, you can always read that book. You can always read it. I mean, yes, it deteriorates over time, but we've got books from like ages ago. And here we have this really amazing medium of PCs, and people are creating all sorts of content with it, and future generations will not be able to enjoy and look at these things because they don't really have the means to do it. One of the things that I enjoy seeing if I go to conventions and whatnot are these companies that basically keep old computers alive. And I mean, I started out with a Sinclair Spectrum, a VIC-20, and I mean, ideally, of course, the games and software on there are pretty arcane and unusable now. But still, you know, if somebody did write a piece of software on it or has some sort of a thing that they developed on it, I think that should be somehow maintained and archived, or there should be emulators or things that basically can use them. But like for Windows 10, like that's a whole bunch of users, and Windows 10 is the first version of Windows where you can't. There are machines that basically are obsolete and cannot use Windows 11. So if you don't have a TPM chip in your PC, basically you're screwed. You can't use Windows 11. So a lot of users right now, PC users, are like, okay, well, I'll upgrade to Windows 11, and then they go find out that they can't, right? So then they have to buy a whole new PC, transfer things over, and all that. And I mean, it's nice to promote newer machines and everything like that. From a business perspective, I get it, but from kind of a just from a kind of a user, what's the word I'm looking for? Loyalty perspective, like companies should be loyal to the users and customers that basically have gotten them to where they are, and there's absolutely none of that. I think, and of course, while all this is happening, all things considered, there's AI just completely decimating jobs. And it's not that it's doing the jobs. Actually, there are reports that say that companies are spending more money implementing AI than if they actually did it the way they did before. But there's some promise somewhere, some hype that basically is making them think, oh yeah, if we implement this, then maybe things will be cheaper to make, cheaper to support, or whatever, and then then we can make more profits for our shareholders, which I also understand. But I mean, there should be some sort of a happy medium. I don't know why I just got on the soapbox all of a sudden. But yeah, the Windows 10 thing was really annoying. I've got one PC still on Windows 10, and when I saw that, I was just like, ugh. And that PC cannot be upgraded to Windows 11, and that PC was not an inexpensive PC to get, so yeah. But luckily, this one that I'm using can use Windows 11, and this one that I'm using, which is a Dell, has been just a really, really good machine to use. It's been one of, like every once in a while you get a computer that's just like a, tank of just a bulletproof, just really well functioning machine, and this is one of them. The thing I like about Dell machines is like there are no frills in Dell machines. They just are good functionally. I mean, there are machines that aesthetically look better, maybe, but as far as functionality is concerned, they don't skimp on that. So I definitely feel comfortable endorsing them, just because, I mean, they're not paying me to, but Oh, did that thing happen? No, here we go. I didn't want to restart ZBrush, but I don't think I'm having to. And the good news is that ZBrush has been pretty stable, 2026, and it hasn't been for me. Like the only issue I had was with that kind of driver, losing the driver capability, but I feel good about most of the functionality of it. This thing now, Zero Mesh, Dynamesh, it's not here. Let's just, oh, this is the head. Okay, did I Dynamesh it? No, cancel. No, don't do it. Did I do it? I did do it. Control Z. Okay, yeah, I don't want to do that just yet. All right, so we're getting pretty good here. I think I might do some scales or something next time, but I think I've got the general shape of this thing down. Let's bring in the wings and everything and just see how it's looking overall as a composition. I think I've got about maybe 10 more minutes in this stream. So let's see what the wings would look like. There are the wings. Okay, happy about it. And these are just the skeleton of the wings. Next time maybe I'll work on the wings a little bit. The body's looking pretty good right now. And I think I'm kind of approaching this from a point of like I'm going to have close-ups as well as have distance shots. Let me make the background a little bit lighter here. Yeah, I think that's looking good. I think I actually have some wings, but I don't think they're in any way, shape, or form usable. I might have to redo some of these pieces. But I do have this, which basically is just a plane that kind of gives me an idea of what the wings will look like. And I've just masked these out, or I think it's poly painted actually. And this gives me an idea of, you know, looking at it from the top, what the wings would look like. And I think I've got a bottom one as well. I should move one of these planes a little bit lower. Oh, or is that, what is that piece? Oh, it's these things. Okay. Yeah, I don't really think, because I haven't selected this one. There we go. Yeah, because they were kind of flickering because they were on top of each other, but this is better. So this is what it would look like from the bottom, and this is what it would look like from the top. All right, it's coming together. I think I'm getting pretty close to ending the stream. Usually I leave time at the end for questions, but I don't think anybody's watching live, and which is normal for these ones, but I'm sure I'm getting a lot of people watching these on YouTube once I put them on there, and I'm pretty sure this will be the case as well. All right, let's do just a little bit more work here. Maybe add some detail to the tail here. Let's hide the wings. Okay. Now sometimes I just have sculpting sessions that go so well. This has been one of them. Just so much fun. Gonna get into the zone and just plug away. My ears breathe here for a minute. I don't even know if I want to have this secondary thing here for the tail, but it might create some visual interest, so I'm just going to keep it for now. Okay. Pretty menacing looking tail there. Maybe the Game of Thrones people will hire me to do a dragon or two. That would be awesome. Again, not my thing that I usually do, but I don't remember what Western it was where there was this guy who's like an expert with knives or something, but, or no, he's expert with rifles, I think. He's kind of a rifleman, and then he uses a pistol, and people are like, I didn't know you could, you know, you're a pistol guy, and he's like, well, I am, but it's not my preferred thing to do, and I think that's kind of the same thing with me. I mean, I'd rather do mechs and kind of more futuristic stuff, but ooh, I can do this too. And right now I'm putting together a reference sheet for some project that's coming up, and Unfortunately, not a paid-for project, but definitely a high visibility one. So that's going to be exciting as well. So the first videos I'm going to share, and I'll kind of let you guys know, is that so I used to have this title at Gnomon that I've talked about in my streams quite a bit, which is my entire workflow in designing a mech and doing it. And that's the thing that I actually got the rights to now. The rights reverted back to me, so now I can share it on YouTube. And it's something that people had to pay a service for before, and now it is going to be available for free on YouTube. But just in the interest of time, I'm going to upload the videos 2 by 2, one every 2 weeks. So eventually they'll all be on there. I don't know exactly the number of videos. There's quite a few of them. And so the first one's going to be reference hunting and how I gather reference, and hopefully that will give you guys some idea of how I do that. Obviously this video is a few years older, and so but I think most of the stuff I do in there are still stuff that I continue to do today. But yeah, I think Gnomon just went through, Gnomon Workshop just went through, and I don't know why, but they basically called, I mean, I do know why. I mean, they feel certain titles are not as viable right now. Like, for example, if the title used Modo or some other software, they got rid of it. Just because, you know, Modo's not a thing anymore, unfortunately. But yeah, so the good news is that you guys get to see this stuff for free now. And again, if you guys want to not see it for free and give me some sort of a tip or something about it, I do have a Gumroad, and you can go buy some IMM brushes. Actually, I guess I'll use the last few minutes to show those. Let me find the window for it. So yeah, one of the things is definitely, if you want to follow what I do, here is some recent work that I did. This is an alien that I just finished a while back. And here he is in some poses. Here's a couple of them together from different angles with different compositions. So yeah, definitely follow me on my Instagram. And again, my Instagram has been showing up in the top right corner over here. Right, so you can follow me there. There's my Linktree as well. And if you do go to my Instagram and follow me, you can always find me again and click on my Linktree here. That will connect you to all of my different websites. So that's a good way to kind of keep up with everything that I'm doing, and I keep this up to date religiously. And the thing, one of the places you can go to is my Gumroad, which is, this is my portfolio. Again, you can see my portfolio and all the different works that I have. And you can see, like, most of the stuff that I do are mechs and characters and vehicles and whatnot. I do some characters here, and so here's a Rorschach alien that I did ages ago. So I think, you know, I do have some character designs, but not too much. Dragon's probably going to go here once it's done. And this is my Gumroad, so here's kind of where you can help me out by buying one of these Kit Bash kits. These are for ZBrush, so you can get one that's rings and one that's cylinders. And I do have some primitives. There's one for free, so if, like me, you're not in financial heaven right now, you can always download this for free. You can download my UI colors for free as well. And if you want to leave me a small tip, you can buy this one, which has some extra shapes. So it's the same thing you get for free, but with some extra shapes. And I've got, I think, one slide here that shows them. So you get these other extra shapes as well. So yeah, that would be a good way to support my work. And I'll continue to do these videos. I'll continue to put stuff on the YouTube channel. And yeah, I should show the YouTube channel. Here, where are you? YouTube, and this is my YouTube channel. So these are where all the older videos are. And the number of users or viewers is going up. right? So, you know, some of the older ones are getting 150 views, which is good. I'd like to get them into the hundreds and thousands at some point, but I do have some that have had like 17,000 views, so not complaining here. This one has had 24,000 views, not bad at all. So yeah, I mean, definitely you can also subscribe to me on YouTube. Definitely do that. Here, I'll subscribe to myself and also ring the bell, right? And that basically will notify you when there's a new video. So what I'll also do here is I'll create a playlist. So there's a playlist for this dragon here. So I keep, whenever I add new videos to it, hopefully it's going to start playing here. When I add new videos, I just put them in here. So you can see down here that I basically have all the way 1 through 9. And I don't know why it puts them in this order, but I think you can change the order. Is there a way to do it? No, I don't. You can change the order, I think, or you can just watch them this way. So it starts out with episode 1 at the bottom and goes all the way to episode 9 at the top. 10 will be here tomorrow. And also, I will create another playlist for the Gnomon tutorial. I still do have one title on the Gnomon Workshop, so you guys can, if you guys do 3D scanning or digital doubles or whatever, I still have this title on here. But the one that was here, which was the mech, is the one that I'm going to be putting in the next few days. All right, tomorrow morning probably it'll be on there. Okay, so all right, if you're watching this on YouTube, thanks for watching it. Again, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment. Go to my Linktree and send me a message, and I'll do my best to get back to you on it. And wherever you are in the world, hope you're having a good day or night, and happy ZBrushing, everybody. Bye-bye.